On the show today, we're sharing how we're using a simple Google Doc to show you behind the waiting list for the Social Media Manager's Toolkit and how you can do the same for your audience.
Welcome to JFDI with the two Lauras. This is the weekly podcast for freelancers working in social media. Every Tuesday, we're here in your ears sharing tips and advice to inspire you in your daily life as a social media freelancer. We've recently set up a public Google Doc to give people real-time insight into how we're making changes to the Social Media Manager's Toolkit. And today, we're sharing why we've done that, how we're doing it, and how you can use a similar strategy to sell your services. So let's start with what the G-Doc is actually for.
So, we are, and this may be news to you, by the way, if you're listening to this thinking, what are you on about? We are revamping the toolkit. The Social Media Manager's Toolkit, you would have heard us talk about it a lot. We're revamping that. We're working with a curriculum expert, if you like, to help us to do that. And we knew that as we're doing that, people will have questions. And we wanted a way that we could answer those questions in real time. And we also wanted to kind of take people along on the ride with us so we can share the conversations that Laura and I are having, any of the ideas that are coming up for us, and like the thinking and the rationale behind some of the decisions that we're making. We wanted a way that we could do all of that. And we saw two of our friends, Justin and Sarah from Wake Up to Freedom, using a Google Doc to show how they were building out a new product. And we thought, oh, hang on a minute, there's something in this. We could do something similar like that to communicate with you guys. And so the Google Doc was born.
Yeah, and the Google Doc
just
specifically, because it's simple.
Exactly.
It's easy. It's simple. It's easy to share. It's easy for people to kind of comment on. We all know how these things work. It's not, we're not asking people to go and use tech or tools they don't use. It's just nice and basic and simple.
And there's loads of ways we could have done this. We could have recorded a private podcast. We could have had everyone come on a call with us. We could have set up a whole website. But all of that stuff takes time. None of it is in real time. And we wanted to be able to share stuff in real time. And the only other way to do that is to get people on a Zoom call. But, even that is kind of not in real time because it's telling people what we have done rather than what we're doing it. So
yeah, and it's unrealistic to think, if this is something that we spend a lot of our time working on over the coming weeks, it will be unrealistic for us to jump on a Zoom every time we've done something to tell everybody we've done something.
Totally. And we know that you probably don't care about a lot of it, but if you're like me, you're probably quite nosy. And I want to see behind people's businesses and I want to see how they're doing things and why they're doing things and why they've chosen to do something or not do something. And this was just a way that we could do that.
It's not just about being nosy. It's also about understanding what is going into that process, the thought processes behind decisions that we make about what goes in the toolkit and how the toolkit is working and how we're making those decisions. And, because if you're interested in the toolkit, then that also is good to know. It's information that you'll want to know to help you to decide whether it's right for you.
Absolutely. And so one of the reasons that we like a Google Doc is because we can literally be typing while other people are reading. So there's no need to wait for an email to land in your inbox, any of that stuff. It's literally real time. We can add updates in there whenever we want to. We can add images. We can. There will 100% be typos. We can link to videos. We can, show you screenshots. All of that stuff, all in real time, and we can have conversations in there as well, which is really, really good. So, by the way, if you want to go and look at this Google Doc, go to thetwolauras.com/GDoc. We'll put that link in the show notes as well. And then you'll see exactly how it works and you'll see what we're talking about and you kind of be able to understand, what we're going on about. And you can see the updates we've already shared in there. And you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, how on earth can I, how is this relevant to me in my business? What can I do? So we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah, so I think to me, there's a massive opportunity here for building that trust and building that understanding on how you work, on how you do your job, on how the world of social media marketing works. Because if there's somebody out there who's considering hiring you as a social media marketer, an ads manager, what have you, but they don't really understand what it is you do, or might be buying something from you or considering one of your products or wanting to see how you work, this is how you can show them. because there's lots of opportunities, and just kind of off the top of our heads, you can do things like showing what you do on a day-to-day basis. It could be like a bit of a diary. It could be, this is what I'm doing, this is how I spend my time. It could be that you document how you're running a certain campaign. Now, you don't have to share details, so you don't have to name the client, but you can still show the thought process going behind what you're doing. If you're running a campaign for yourself, or maybe launching your own product or service, again, so you could do similar to what Laura and I are doing it for, and to document that process, to get feedback on that progress, to get people to understand more about that product or service. If you're delivering a certain ad or doing an ad build, maybe you could document kind of what you're doing, the decisions you make, why you make them, how it turned out, the results from that. And for someone who is completely alien to how you work as a freelancer, which there will be, and if for someone who's completely alien to social media and social media marketing, to which we know there are many, this is such a good way to help people to really understand what it is you do. And someone, I could imagine, if you do it well, could get quite excited about the fact that you could do that for them too. So I really think it's a great way to do that kind of behind the scenes positioning, trust building piece. And it's such a simple way to do it. I think it's exciting.
Yeah, imagine like there's your dream clients out there. They've come to you and they've said that, maybe they want to work with you, and you've just been interacting with them somewhere, but they've been burnt in the past. Like, imagine them seeing behind the scenes of how you work and how much trust that could build with them, based on literally seeing behind the cogs turning and the wheels turning in your business, and how things actually look differently from what you're doing compared to the person who burnt them in the past. Like, I think there's so much value in that. You
could even have a Google Doc for your clients.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You can document what you've been doing so they can see what you're doing, because then you might not have to speak with them much.
Oh, yes. I like that idea. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so there's loads of opportunity that you can do, but I think it's really important that we kind of explain to you what we've done to make this work, because it's not as simple as just chucking up a Google Doc and just writing stuff in it. There's a few things that we've done to make this work for you guys, for us, so that it's actually a useful document. So the first thing that we've done that we would definitely recommend that you do is that we've added a footer to every page of that Google Doc, and there is a link in there that takes people to our waiting list page, so that anyone who is reading our Google Doc and is thinking, actually, this toolkit sounds really, really brilliant, I would definitely want to join it, they can really easily go and join that waiting list without having to go and look for it elsewhere. So if you are using a Google Doc to talk about your services, for example, link it over to your application form. If you're using it to talk about a new course or a digital product that you're launching, link it over to a waiting list, or link it over to that buy button, so they can literally go and buy whatever it is that you're talking about, and put that in every single page. It's just like it's a one-click setup. It's done. Easy.
Yeah. Nice.
The other thing we're doing is we're using like text formatting, so that we've got headers so that people can easily click to the date that they want to read. So, for example, the day that we're recording this is, what is the date today, Laura? November the 6th, something like that. Yeah. So we would put on there
a
November
monumental
the 6th.
Day.
Yeah, this is true. Not in maybe a good way. No. But anyway, we would put on there November the 6th. We would make that like a header format. And then on the side, people can literally click to that to go and read what we said on that day. So when the Google Doc becomes really busy, and it's, I don't know, the 1st of January, and somebody wants to go back and read what we said today, they can literally click on the date. They don't have to scroll through the whole document, which can be really useful. And you can use headers for other different things. It doesn't have to just be the date. It could be decisions you've made, all of those things.
Yeah, nice. We've also had the comment feature turned on, which is a part of it that I really like, because it's not just us kind of broadcasting what we're doing. There is a conversation to be had. So if people want to, they can provide feedback, we can ask questions, they can let us know what they're thinking, which is great for us who are going through a process of improving something for the benefit of our audience, the people who are potentially on this document. And that's brilliant feedback for us. And it can be quite validating when we're making decisions.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really easy to do. All you need to do to turn on the comments is, when you're using the share link, just make sure that you've set it to anyone with a link can comment. Easy. That means that people can't edit your document, but they can comment on things. So it's like simple.
Yeah, that's quite an important part, that making sure people can't edit it.
Yeah, absolutely. But what we've done as well is we've put a video at the top of it that tells people that they can do that, tells people that they can comment, so that people actually understand that you could literally just put a text box telling people how to do it. You can even screenshot so that people know how to do it, to make it easy for your audience if they're not the sort of people who would generally be using a Google Doc.
We also have decided, and we did have a bit of a conversation about this, but it was quite a quick decision, that we've not put it behind a sign up wall. So people don't have to give us their details if they want to come and be nosy. So, we've probably got the whole world and their wife having a nose, probably competitors, probably all sorts. But to us, we see that the value in as many people seeing it as possible, and people might be able to share it. They might just be able to, doesn't matter if they lose that email they've signed up to, they can just click on the link again. It just makes it easy for people, and anybody who's potentially interested in the toolkit can also come and have a look at it without feeling that they're signing up for something that they're going to be sold to. It's not like that.
And I think also it's useful for people who've already got the toolkit. If they, someone who's already got the toolkit isn't going to join a waiting list to get access to this, because they don't need to be on the waiting list. But by them having access to this, if you've got the toolkit, you could read this, and then that you're affiliate, you know exactly what you're going to be talking about to promote it if you wanted to tell it, share it with your audience or your friends, whatever. So you can be a good affiliate. So it's there's useful information on there for people who are maybe talking about the toolkit to other people.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make sure that it was open and accessible.
Yeah. And that's our choice of how we've decided to do it in this particular instance. If we were to do this again, we might not do it this way, and we may limit who has access to it. So that's not something that you have to do. You don't have to think, hang on, I don't want the whole world and their wife to see me run my next ad campaign. That's fine. You can have it. It can be a lead magnet. So don't feel like you've got to do what we've done with that instance. You'll have your reasons to do whatever you think's best, and that's fine.
Yeah, and if you're running a wait list, it could even be an incentive to get people on the wait list. Get on the wait list, and you'll come into our behind the wait list Google Doc. Well, you can obviously explain it a little bit better, where you'll get to see this, and this in real time. People are interested and excited about things like that. What I think is important to say, though, is that you need to tell people that this exists. We have linked it in our emails. We will continue to link it in our emails as we go along. We send an email pretty much every day. So it will be linked in all of those emails. We have talked about it on social media. We will continue to do that. We've recorded a whole podcast about it because we want people to understand that it exists. And if there's no point you just documenting things on a Google Doc if no one's reading it, that's just adding more work to your workload that isn't going to be beneficial to you. So you need to make sure that people know that it exists, but you also need to remind people. This isn't something that people are going to look at once, like a lead magnet perhaps that they're going to read once. This is something that people need to keep going back to see those updates. So people need reminders to keep going and looking at it. Maybe you need to tell them, keep it open on one of your tabs, or bookmark the link, whatever it is, so that people continue to go and look at it. And don't be afraid to talk about it too much. This is an asset. Talk about it a lot.
Yeah. And I think that reminder is important. They're not going to get notified when we update it. It is on them to go and check if they're interested, if there are any updates. So you reminding people to do that.
I think that's a good thing, because we could have done this, in a WhatsApp channel, for example, but the amount of notifications people get all the time, you quickly switch off to that.
Yeah.
And this is much more intentional when somebody goes and looks, that they're intentionally clicking on that link to go and look at it. Therefore, they're going to actually put the time in to read it, which is really good for you. So, don't forget to keep reminding them to do that.
Yeah. And on that note, so as a reminder for you, if you do want to come and have a nose, the link for that GDoc is thetwolauras.com/GDoc. We'll add it to the show notes. So come and chat with us on there. And we're super interested to hear your thoughts about the new Social Media Managers Toolkit.
Yeah, come and chat in the Google Doc and answer the questions and just give us feedback. We're totally open to feedback, aren't we, you and I?
Oh,
so
100%.
Be open and be honest with what you think. Any ideas, we're totally open to them. And let us know how you're going to use this in your business. We're really, really interested to see how you could make this work for you. So share your thoughts. Come and have a little conversation with us about it.
Yeah, nice. Do. All right, we will speak to you soon. We'll be in your ears next week.
Have a good week. Ta-ra.
Bye.